It's been a while since we said farewell to House of the Dragon's first season. Because of just how much we loved it, it's hard not to want to immediately jump into the second season. Though, a new update on the show's filming makes it sound like we could be waiting a while. Apparently, filming will take 8 months. Let's dive into the video to learn more about this. First off, House of the Dragon Season 2 will take 8 months to film. It seems that HBO plans on making us wait for a ton for the next season of House of the Dragon. While fans would probably want it to release tomorrow if it was in their hands, we assure you, quality takes time. The show has yet to even begin filming, but according to new sources, when it does begin, the filming could go on for as long as 8 months. This is all according to Ewan Mitchell anyway, who you may recall plays the elusive Aemon Targaryen in the series. The actor stated that in an interview from 2022 with The Face that he's currently prepping to begin shooting next year. During the interview, he revealed that shooting could take up to 8 months in 2023, and at the time of the interview, they were in the preparation phase. He joked that it's why his hair is all buzzed off for wig fittings. The actor talked about his character Aemon as well, and from the sound of it, the eager Targaryen is just getting started. Mitchell mentioned that if Aemon was getting started in the first season, Season 2 is where the all-out war starts. Considering the finale literally ended with Aemon chomping on his own nephew Luke with his dragon Vagar, we can't even begin to imagine the chaos he's going to unleash moving forward. As promised, it seems that the second season of House of the Dragon is going to up the ante in terms of its sheer action and brutality. Fans who felt like that element was missing in the first season will undoubtedly be happy with this. Next up, what else did Mitchell say about Aemon? The actor compared his dragon Vagar with the mythical Cyclops. The mythological creature traded an eye to Hades to see the day he'd die. Because of being in a similar situation, we can get why Aemon might feel like he's a bit bulletproof. The young Targaryen gave up his own eye, but in return, he got what's probably the strongest and most ancient dragon in all the realms. That instantly gives him tons more power, though the source of his power may just be his own scary perspective, according to Ewan. He doesn't agree with the fan theories that his character is a seer, and we think that we agree with him there. It's likely that he isn't just on the basis of the fact that fans have been quick to call every character in House of the Dragon to be a seer. Larys, Helena, and now Aemon. While the former two might have a good case on their hands, Aemon is probably the least likely to be one. We suppose he doesn't really need to be a seer to be an interesting character. His traits, actions, and personality make that fairly clear as is. Season 2 of the series is set to introduce many new characters, a few of which will have a direct tie-in with Aemon's plotline. He's a vital character in the series, and probably the deadliest member of the Greens. When the Dance of the Dragon starts, we definitely keep an eye out for him. Moving on, let's discuss some deleted scenes from the first season of House of the Dragon. Starting at number 7, it's the death of Balon Targaryen. The very first episode of House of the Dragon starts with a highly difficult to watch scene involving the C-section of Queen Aemma Arryn. Despite the procedure, he ultimately doesn't survive it, though the show makes it look like they've managed to save her son Balon. That's not until the scene cuts, and we see that Balon didn't survive either, as we're both at their funerals. While the young Balon's death happens off-screen, a deleted scene actually showed him dying. The scene is described by Paddy Considine as being 10 times more brutal than the one we saw in the show. Considering the version they kept was difficult enough, it's probably a good idea they decided to go with it. At number 6, it's the fact that Daemon wasn't ready for the Ice and Fire prophecy. In the finale of the first season, we learn that Daemon was never told about the show's iconic Ice and Fire prophecy by his brother Viserys. When the rogue prince learns that his wife, Rhaenyra, was the one who Viserys chose to confide his secret prophecy in, and not him, he goes into a fit of rage. It might seem a bit out of place at first, especially because Daemon is so angry with this revelation that he even begins to choke Rhaenyra, but it looks like a deleted scene was supposed to add more context to it. A scene was supposed to involve Viserys informing his brother of the prophecy, but the rogue prince, as always, was too hot-headed and rash to understand its importance. It sounds like an interesting scene and makes Aemon's outburst later on make a bit more sense, even if it isn't justified at all. Moving to our number 5 spot, we've got Sir Criston getting sworn into the King's Guard. There aren't that many characters in House of the Dragon that make you outright hate them. Even characters like Daemon have likable personalities. Not Sir Criston though. He's been an absolute pain ever since he got ditched by Rhaenyra, leading him to sulk for the entire rest of the series so far. Apparently, a scene of him getting sworn into the King's Guard existed, but it was cut because, of course, why would anyone want to see it when this guy can't even abide by the rules? We know of the scene's existence based on promotional material released for the show, one of which is is a shot of Kristen bowing down in a position that makes it look like he's being sworn in. Next up, at number 4, it's a scene revealing Daemon's biceps. Daemon Targaryen is a character that the audience really liked, to the point that even the writers are a tad bit confused by it. He's a wife-murdering prince that's really quick to anger, yet we can't help but like him all the same. Turns out, there was yet another reason that may have gotten us to like Daemon even more. In a cut scene, the show apparently hinted at the fact that he may be According to the deleted scene, Daemon was leaning and flirting with a male servant. Later, in another scene that was removed, Elena makes her way to the roof where she sees Daemon with the same servant in a highly suggestive position. The scene would have made Daemon unfaithful to his wife, which is probably why it got cut, but it still robbed us of our prince. Moving on to number 3, we've got another cut Daemon scene. Looks like Daemon was the character that had his screen time reduced the most in post-production. Quite a lot of his scenes were trimmed down or outright removed. Another scene is when he gives his final toast to Viserys. Originally, in the dinner scene, where the Targaryens and Hightowers were all gathered, various family members stood up and gave a toast to one another. This included a toast that Daemon gave to his brother, Viserys, but it was cut. Though the reason why it was removed was that director Gita Patel felt like the Daemon Viserys moment we saw in the Iron Throne room when the rogue prince helps his brother up was a much better and ultimately seamless way of highlighting the two's relationship. It made an additional toast feel a bit redundant, and we can definitely see where she's coming from. For our number 2 spot, we've got the scene where Baela calls herself a dragon rider. If there's one character that hasn't been utilized much at all in the first season, it's Baela and her sister Rhaena. The two are almost always seen standing in the background, usually doing nothing, but it looks like that in a cut scene, Baela was actually supposed to take charge and become a prominent character. In this deleted scene, which was a part of the finale, she took charge and claimed that she was a dragon rider when her grandmother revealed her intentions of wanting to keep her granddaughters safe. Baela stated in a deleted scene that, much like her father and her brother, she's a dragon rider. We can't help but feel like seeing this scene would have been great and may have added a bit more substance to an otherwise pretty uninteresting character. Though, we may get to see the two sisters take charge more in the seasons to come, especially now that the war is inevitable. Finally, for our number 1 spot, we've got an extended version of the last scene. In the final episode, we saw that Luke was eaten alive by Vagar because of Aemon. The final shot of the series is just Rhaenyra reacting to the news as the camera holds still on her. After Daemon reveals the news to her, she turns back and shows the audience her sheer hatred and willingness to partake in the upcoming civil war. While the scene is quite a great way to round off the scene and works immensely well, even despite being really short, it seems that an extended version of it used to exist as well. The deleted version has Daemon questioning Luke's whereabouts. This additional footage went on for a whole minute, and it revealed Daemon finding out about the young prince's death as well. We see him struggle with the news until he finally walks over to Rhaenyra and reveals it, which plays out just as we got it in the final season. Plus, in the storyboards, Rhaenyra was supposed to get the news of Luke's death while she was sitting on the Dragonstone throne. When Daemon tells her about Luke's death, she lets out a scream of rage as the camera keeps focused on her. That's the polar opposite of the one we got, where we see nothing but Emma's amazing emotions at full display. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about House of the Dragon taking this long to film? Comment below, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.